The great council chamber of Terminus Station floated in the void between galaxies, a monument to 10,000 years of galactic civilization. Within its crystalline walls, representatives from 200 species had gathered for what they believed would be a formality. The official declaration of humanity's extinction. Ambassador Velkoth of the Zynthian Concordat stood at the central podium, his chitinous plates gleaming under the chamber's soft light. Honored delegates, he began, his translation device rendering his clicks and whistles into the common tongue. We gather to mark a solemn occasion. 300 cycles have passed since the last confirmed human signature. Their homeworld lies silent, their colonies abandoned. By ancient law, we must declare them extinct and redistribute their territories. Around the chamber, heads nodded, or their species equivalent. The humans had been a curiosity, nothing more. A young race that had barely learned to fold space when the Devourers came. They had fought well enough, but in the end, they were simply outmatched. Such was the way of the galaxy. Does any delegation dispute this declaration? Velkoth asked, following the ancient protocol, though no one expected a response. The silence stretched for the customary 30 seconds. Then the lights went out. Emergency systems kicked in, bathing the chamber in red. Alarms shrieked. And outside the observation ports, something massive emerged from folded space, something that made even the enormous station seem small by comparison. The warship was a monstrosity of function over form, all brutal angles and weapon emplacements. Its hull was scarred by countless battles, patched with alloys from a dozen different worlds. Along its side, in letters 300 meters high, was a name in the humans' ancient script: Remember Earth. Every sensor in the chamber screamed warnings about weapon locks. 2,000 plasma cannons, each capable of glassing a continent, tracked the station. Missile ports yawned open like hungry mouths, and at the prow, something far worse. A Nova cannon, the kind of weapon that had cracked the Devourer homeworld in half. The communication system crackled to life, and a voice filled the chamber. It was human, unmistakably so, though it carried an edge that made even battle-hardened warriors flinch. Council of Terminus. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Human Defense Fleet. I understand you are about to declare my species extinct. There was a pause, heavy with implications. I am here to inform you that your intelligence was premature. Velkoth's translator struggled to keep up as he stammered. But the silence. Your world's silent by choice, Chen's voice cut through. You see, Council, 300 years ago, the Devourers came to Earth. They expected easy prey. Divided nations, primitive weapons, no unified defense. They were partially right, we weren't ready. They killed 8 billion of us in the first week. The chamber was utterly silent now. Even the alarms had been muted by station AI, recognizing that whatever was happening was beyond emergency protocol. But here's what you need to understand about humanity, Chen continued. We don't surrender. We don't break. And we sure as hell don't forget. While you were having your councils and debates about intervention, we were dying. While you were concerned about galactic law and non-interference treaties, our children were burning. The warship's weapons remained locked on the station. No one dared move, so we went dark. Every human world, every station, every ship. We disappeared from your sensors, and we got to work. We studied every piece of Devourer tech we could salvage from our dead. We conscripted every scientist, every engineer, every person who could hold a wrench or understand an equation. We built factories in the hearts of dead stars. We hollowed out moons and filled them with shipyards. We turned our entire species into a war machine. A hologram appeared in the center of the chamber, showing a star map. Dozens of systems glowed red, systems that had belonged to the Devourers. It took us 273 years, Chen said quietly, but we found every last Devourer world, every station, every ship, every single one of them. The red systems began winking out one by one, and we made them extinct. The implications crashed over the council like a tidal wave. The Devourers had been an empire of thousands of worlds, and humanity, primitive, backwards humanity, had erased them from existence. The last 30 years we've been rebuilding, Chen continued, healing, remembering what it meant to be human beyond just warriors. We were going to make contact again soon properly, through diplomatic channels. But then we intercepted your transmission about this little ceremony. The warship's weapons finally powered down, though the gesture felt less reassuring than it should have. So let me make this clear, Council. Humanity is not extinct. Humanity is not weak. And humanity does not forget those who left us to die alone. There was a pause. But we're also not the devourers. We don't want your territory or your resources. We just want you to remember something. The hologram changed, showing Earth, blue and green and achingly beautiful, with orbital rings and defense platforms now encircling it like a crown. This is our homeworld. These are our people. And if anyone ever threatens us again, we won't wait 300 years to make our response. We'll show you what humanity learned in our darkest hour, that mercy is a choice, not a weakness, and that choice has limits. The transmission ended. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then slowly, the massive warship began to turn, its engines flaring blue-white. But before it jumped to hyperspace, one final message came through. Oh, and Council, you can keep your laws about extinct species. We're writing our own now. Chen out! The warship vanished in a flash of twisted space, leaving 200 species staring at each other in shock. Velkoth looked down at his podium, where the Declaration of Extinction still waited to be signed. He deleted it. In the viewing galleries, a junior diplomat from a minor species leaned over to his superior. I thought humans were supposed to be peaceful, diplomatic. The older diplomat, who had been watching with ancient eyes, replied softly, They are. That's why we should be grateful, because a species that can show that much restraint after that much suffering, he gestured toward the space where the warship had been. That's not a species we ever want to see lose their patience entirely. Across the galaxy in 100 different languages and forms, a new phrase entered the common lexicon. When someone spoke of dangerous assumptions, of underestimating others, of leaving allies to fight alone, they would say, "Remember the humans." And everyone would understand exactly what that meant.